The Dusty Futon Podcast is a product of the Dusty Futon LLC and Dusty Futon Productions. Thank you for tuning in, and don't forget to subscribe to get all the newest episodes. You can find out how and share with your friends at www.dustyfuton.com. It's that time again, kids. This week's episode of the Dusty Futons Musicians Podcast. Once again, Reverbnation comes through with amazing San Diego talent, and this episode focuses on Tweed Deluxe. No, not the vintage Fender amp, the local band. Michael Olieta, did I pronounce that right? Anyway, Michael joins us to talk about his band Tweed Deluxe. It's a fun chat. We get some great stories. I'm sure you're just waiting to hear all these wonderful stories. So, we bring you Tweed Deluxe.
Right on. Yeah.
Oh, there we go.
I do get to use a mic every time we play a gig.
Yeah. Isn't that nice?
I got my own.
Yeah, that's always good. That's always good. Now, let's do a mic check. All right, go ahead and give me a 5 count.
Check. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
We are golden. And that is the voice of Michael Olieta?
Oleta.
Oh, there is an L in there.
Yeah.
Somewhere that L got deleted. I don't know why it got deleted.
From your brain. Got deleted from your brain.
That happens a lot.
Right?
So,
Yeah, it's a very rare name.
Olieta, where's that from?
It's a Basque name, which is a region in northern Spain, and I'm from San Diego, but my dad, who obviously still lives here in La Jolla, we have 6 brothers and sisters. We're the only Oletas in San Diego.
Really?
Yeah.
Where do you fall in the food chain of all those
I'm number
kids?
2.
Number 2. So do you have a musical family?
You know, we do. My oldest brother and my 2 other brothers were really big into music when we were really young. I didn't pick it up, although I did sing in a band when I was in 9th and 10th grade. But they did the whole Hollywood thing and playing Gazaris and all. Their
right
band
on.
was hot. It was called Fire, and then they got that name taken away. They were kind of like a Hendrixy power trio, and they were really
Wow,
cool.
cool.
But my parents don't play any instruments. They love music, though.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
So now you play guitar.
I play guitar.
And you're the lead guitar, or actually the only guitar of your band, Tweed Deluxe, which when I saw that band name, I was like, that is just a cool name. Because the Tweed style, and you fit your name to your music really well. You're kind of a bluesy bluesy guy.
How did that name come about?
Yeah, it's a good, quick story. So I answered a Craigslist ad about 6 years ago for a gentleman out in the La Mesa area. His name is Lyle Koonts, and he wanted to form a blues band. And he'd been in many bands in the past, and he's an older guy. He's in his 60s. I think he's 65. Great guy, great bass player. I went over to his house in La Mesa where he has a studio, and I auditioned for him. It was great. I was so friggin' nervous. And he just loved me. I mean, we just hit it off, and I really liked the guy. He was so cool, and I was like, yeah, let's do it. And he says, yeah, let's do it. So he says, I have a drummer lined up. We brought a few drummers in, and we tried a few out. And then we went for about 2 years getting the sets together and going out and playing, and I hustled all the gigs. And our drummer was okay. He was an old guy that was a real blues journeyman. And he was worried more about, what food he was going to get for free at a gig, and he wasn't very explosive.
He's a gig player.
He wasn't very exciting at all. So we had him, and then finally we said, "You're out." There's other reasons why,
Of course.
which I won't get into. And then
need.
we fell into this guy from Boston, 6'4", massive hockey football guy, Patriots fan. Not that we need to get into that.
Yeah,
No.
let's not.
Yeah, exactly. But
We're all on the same page here.
but Robert's history, he's a draftsman and does stuff, and he's a part owner of a bar in Imperial Beach, and he's just a transplant, been out here years, and he's been in many, many, many bands, and he's just a phenomenal drummer. And I'm just blessed to have him in my band because he lets me do whatever I want, loves playing with me, and he's just killer.
So cool. So cool to have that chemistry.
ROCBERT.
Oh, so I didn't even tell you. I didn't even answer your question.
No, you didn't.
Sorry. I think
He's
I
going into the
plugged
whole
in.
history of the band.
So really quickly, Lyle Koonts is a master technician.
And that's your bass player.
Yeah, he has a studio and
Seems
a
familiar.
workshop here, and he has amps from people from all over San Diego and elsewhere. Drop-off amps from the 40s, the 50s, the
probably
60s, the 70s, the 80s. He's obviously electronic. He can fix and make anything. He can rebuild anything. And he said, we're going to call the band Tweed Deluxe. And guess what I said? Sure.
Yeah.
That was it.
So he
Boom.
just knew the name.
The Tweed Deluxe amps, the vintage
Yeah.
Tweed
Yeah.
Deluxe amps. He just thought it was a cool name. I was like, okay,
cool.
whatever.
And it sits well because it if you know anything about blues history, that tweed like color, this tweed is a style of like a wrapping and a coloring.
Yeah.
But so it's like that. You know what tweed is, right?
Yeah, I do.
Yeah, of course you do.
But the Fender.
I'm in a room full of guitarists.
Like,
I'm like,
hair isn't. See, I can't now.
no, okay.
But you could have a tweed. You could have a tweed
Jacket,
blazer,
right?
but
Yeah.
but the Tweed Deluxes are a vintage Fender amp that are very hard to find the originals, and they are very valuable. And I'm sure they sound warm and nice.
Well, you're not very hard in your music, but I'm sure it's very valuable.
Yeah.
So I tried to. No, so that was
What?
another.
No, that didn't
I'm
go.
not on today.
Big John. And you were saying you had such a lovely morning with your gal.
I know. I was having a good morning.
Just chilling.
So we just got a really 5-minute breakdown of exactly what the band is. So let's move on. Let's. So this is Tweed Deluxe. You guys are a blues rock band.
Yeah.
Now, how long you've been together since 2010?
Yep.
So you said you answered the Craigslist ad, and that was that about then, or was that earlier?
Yeah, it was right then. Yeah.
Okay. And you guys just been playing right now, like playing all over the place.
For me, it's all about the playing. So we play twice a month, and it's phenomenal. I just love playing live, and I'm not one that I'm really studied, and I don't go and jam with other people. I have this band. We all have lives, and we get together, and we just love to play. So we typically play a couple times a month, sometimes maybe 3 or 4. But
how often do you get together to practice?
We really don't practice anymore. We cranked out a good 3 hours of music. A third of them are original songs.
Cool.
And we got them so tight that basically we got all the beginnings hot, the endings hot, and
Awesome.
they let me kind of fly off, and no solo or riff is necessarily exactly the same except some specific types of phrases.
Right.
So they just let me explore. Sometimes the songs are 4 minutes, sometimes they're 6. And then we always come back, and we have really cool breaks, and we have tight endings, but we really don't rehearse anymore.
So your body language is so tight, they can just feel either from your style of coming back down the riff or whatever. They can just tell whenever you're coming back.
They do.
That's cool.
They just figured me out, I think.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah, that's
chemistry.
Awesome. Well, let's. You've got a 10-song album. Is it out now or is it coming out?
Yeah, it's been out for about a year, and I brought one for you as a gift. But obviously,
awesome.
it's on iTunes and it's on CD Baby. Cool. The reason we even did the CD is because my bass player was harassing me for 2 years to get a bunch of the originals that they love to play. Copyrighted and all the stuff. And for me, it's whatever, Lyle, whatever. The studio, how much is it going to cost? I would say, how much is it going to cost? How much is it going to cost? Once he got me to do it and we went into this little studio out in El Cajon, it was the most fun I've ever had in my life.
Cool.
Dude,
cool,
some people say that because it's if you're really in it and you find a good studio and a good record label or good people who are really there to make sure you do your best, it is nothing but an exciting experience to sit in a studio with a good producer, a good engineer, someone who knows their shit and just wants to help you make your sound better and more full. It's incredible.
Yeah. Can I make a confession, though?
Yes.
We did it totally on the cheap with just the engineer that owned the studio, Lyle, who has experience in recording and stuff, and we did it in 60 hours. It was just like we did a live album.
That's
We took the first take on every single song as far as the bass and the rhythm, and then I did a few comps on some, and of course I got to re-sing. And so we did it in 60 hours. I can't say anything more than that.
No, that's cool.
I wish it was more. We could have had some strings in there. We could have brought in a Hammond. But it's just like we play live. So at least when you listen to it, really, it's like you come out and see us, and it's going to sound just like our CD.
Well, let's go ahead and listen to one of the tracks. You gave me 3. Do you know which one you want to hear first?
I didn't even want to give you the number one song because it's just such a straight blues shuffle, but it is the name of our album. It's called Itty Bitty King.
Okay.
Kingsville?
No, Itty Bitty King. The first one, number 1.
The ones you sent me are I Believe, Kingsville, and Sia Cortez.
I made a mistake. Well, play I Believe.
All right.
Let's throw a curveball at everybody and play something that isn't really blues.
All right. Here's a song from Tweed Deluxe called I Believe.
1, 2, 3.
Lay it on me, baby. I like it.
It's very fun.
It is fun. You need a drink with an umbrella, you know?
Yeah.
It's a love song.
Is it?
believe in love. Yes, I believe, girl, it's true. Yeah. You knock my socks off when you walk into the room. Yes, I believe, girl, it's you. Take my hand and walk with me.
It sounds raw, but still full. It's neat. It's great.
Yeah, it's cool.
It's almost got like a poppy Cure type of a thing to it. You could move your head differently than the blues.
Yeah.
You know, I was thinking like something about Mary, like the movie, for some reason.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
For me to realize
It's like a montage music.
all the things
Yeah.
I wanted in a woman.
Look, we're all bouncing around over here.
I know.
My eyes, it took a long time to see that we were meant to be together in spite of me. And now I'm doing all I can to make sure that this love will never end. Once upon a time, I came across a girl so fine. I met her on the street and I asked her if she wanted to hang out with me.
Now, the lead that's coming up isn't like Steve Vai by any means,
Oh.
but it's kind of fun.
Okay.
Nice.
The start of something sweet. When I look into her eyes, I see all the love inside that girl has for me.
Oh, I love this song.
Are you going to cry again?
My God, it's such a mush ball.
That I'm the one she needs. That I'm the one she needs.
And we do some heavy shit in our sets, so I threw a pop one at you that we play in the first set.
I like it. It's
it
cool to have
is.
it, mix it up a little.
I wanted in a woman stood right before my eyes. It took a long time to see that we were meant to be together in spite of me. And now I'm doing all I can to make sure that this love will never
I have so much fun.
I could tell.
Uh-huh.
Like, I can see the smile while you're playing this.
Yeah, right? Everybody. I feel like everybody is.
Yeah.
All the bandmates.
It took a long time for me to realize that all the things I wanted in a woman stood right before my eyes. It took a long time to see that we were meant to be together in spite of me. And now I'm doing all I can to make sure that this love will never end. I believe in love. Oh, this love will never end. I believe, girl, it's true. I'm gonna love you till the end. Oh, yeah.
That was cool.
That was
love it.
I Believe by Tweed Deluxe.
I wrote
Yeah.
this one about my wife.
That's a cute line.
Seriously, this is a montage song. Like, this is one of those songs that everybody would sing if it was put in a movie with like this
Yeah.
falling in love montage.
Totally, huh?
I gotta call my guy at Warner Brothers.
And I have to say, I think the reason I get a little emotional is my husband had written a song for me called "She Believes in Me," and so I'm thinking, and I know it touches my
Oh my
heart.
gosh.
Every time, yeah. And so,
That explains this set of tears.
yeah, and that's why I'm like, I'm picturing what your wife, is like, how she feels when she hears it.
So you're being empathic and feeling how his wife felt
Yeah.
the first time. How did she react the first time you played that song for her?
Well, it's kind of interesting. We live a pretty complicated life with a bunch of kids, a bunch of pets, and my wife and I have a business, and she works a lot. So she doesn't even come out and listen to us play. And we just go out, the three of us, and we hang out. And that's about the only time I ever stay out past 10 o'clock or up a bit without going to sleep before 10 is when we have gigs and we're home by 2.
Yeah.
But she came and listened to us with a bunch of people, including the employees at our shop in La Jolla, just 2 weeks ago or 3 weeks ago, and she couldn't believe how much better we were than when she saw us 6 years ago when we first started.
Yeah.
She's like, "Oh my God, you're way more exciting than I thought."
It makes a difference.
And,
She's like, I'll make time for this a little more often.
Yeah.
Right?
It's like, my husband's actually good at this little side project.
and she did like this song, and I called her out on it, but she didn't, really come. She's not the type to say, "Oh my God," no. She liked it. She likes a lot of them.
That's good. That's actually,
cool.
I like that because that shows a high level of support without, that emotional draggage that can go along with having a spouse in the music industry.
Yeah. Why are you looking at me?
No, just, I was just looking at you as my co-host. So anyway.
Yes, I have a spouse that's in the industry.
Yeah. So we got a hold of you through Reverbnation. They set up a campaign for us, and we managed to find you guys through it, which is pretty awesome.
Yeah.
So you said you've been around since 2010, and you do a lot of playing. We really quickly went through the rest of the band. Lyle Koonts, the bass, and he does backup vocals.
He does, yeah.
And then we have, okay, you said Robert, but is it ROCBERT?
No, it's Robert Sheenan.
Okay.
Yeah.
I like ROCBERT.
I'm
voting for ROCBERT.
I'm gonna tell him that next time.
I
Bring in the ROCBERT.
See,
Did you
there's a
actually
C
write it? I
right
can't
there.
see it.
I don't
Well,
know
it's
where I
Rocktober.
saw this. I don't know where I saw it. ROCBERT Sheehan. I'm like, dude, that is an awesome name. I bet the guy is just a brick shit house,
He's a big dude. He's just like you. Next time I see him, I say, "Hey, ROCBERT, what's up, man?"
And he's
a
I'm
drummer.
like, "What?"
And your name's Areola now.
Yeah,
like,
mine's
Oh, God.
without an or
There we go.
Aola.
Body
What
parts.
is that?
Oh, my goodness.
Yeah, because I've got
Just keeps-
AOEATE. Man, I suck at my research.
Olita, correct?
Yeah, Alita's fine.
Yeah,
It's
but
not
without an
that
A,
hard
there's
to
no
say.
L.
Well, you
I didn't write
an
the
L,
L.
and then you put a C and Robert. What the hell?
I'm not really sensitive
No,
Okay.
but
about my name. That is.
obviously.
You gotta have thick skin around this joint.
So that song was badass,
That
and you
was
said
really
that's
nice.
very
That was
different than your normal style of music as the band.
We started as a blues band in the sense that we started putting sets together and we started doing we'll call them cover tunes, but in the blues world there's so many incredible songs out there that when you play them at a bar nobody knows what song they are, even though they're a famous cover. They're really
Yeah.
like playing originals too.
Cool.
Whether it be Messin' with the Kid, whether it be Help the Poor by B.B. King, whatever. We have 3.5
Honeybee.
hours worth of music, but within those 3.5 hours I have a good 10 or 11 original songs that are just kind
Cool.
of throughout. And so we even play a cool version of Knocking on Heaven's Doors and a few other, we do play some cool stuff like Phone Booth by Robert Cray. I do 2 Hendrix songs. They're the easy type of Hendrix songs to play.
Keep circling back to that.
Yeah, I do.
Full disclosure.
Yeah, I don't know if I'm supposed to say this, and I might get in trouble. But we play Blue on Black by Kenny Wayne Shepherd. But we play a lot of stuff that people don't know, even if
Yeah.
it is somebody else's or it's mine, because they're not like mainstream pop
Right.
songs.
Right.
You could say
Those are
whatever
good-
you
those are some
want,
good
as long
tunes.
as long as we don't start playing those songs, then we're good.
Got
so
it. Got it.
no issue with the references there. Sorry, I cut you off.
Oh, you did.
again.
Now, and guess what?
You forgot. Yeah.
Short circuit spicy here.
I do that.
No idea what I was going to say.
I do that too. Well, I got a springboard here. So San Diego Troubadour magazine called you a hot wire guitarist.
Oh.
Do you know why they called you that?
It's the first time anybody's ever written anything about me. I'm a closet guitarist. I just love to play. I know I'm limited, but I do throw it out there.
Stop saying that
And
right
I-
now.
yeah,
Stop
I have
saying that.
I have a really cool guitar. I have a really nice, hand-wired tube amp. I think the sound's good. And I thought it was really nice that they wrote that. We do jam out, and it is all about the guitar because it's a power trio. And in a
Yeah.
power trio, you don't really have any space to not be there. You got to be
No.
there.
Yeah, right.
So my style is I'm always playing rhythm. unless I'm playing lead or unless I'm screwing around and backing off and introducing the band or playing around a little bit.
Right.
You know, I try to make sure that I have a wall of sound just with my guitar. I don't use many effects. I don't have a digital delay. I don't float it all out there with all kinds of components. Yeah, I got just a sparkle drive for boost. I got a wah-wah pedal that I'm in love with. And then I just have, that's about it. And then I also have like a nice chorus that I play on some of the more country rock type stuff.
That's cool. I like it like clean like that, you know, just
Very
a little
simple.
Yeah, just a little bit of edge here and there, but not like overpowering what you're playing, you know.
It would be cool to
Well-
do some stuff that was even more big. It just we had this studio, we got the album. Maybe we'll make another one in a year, and we can get some stuff that's a little bit bigger sound. You know,
Right on.
play a little bit more with some effects, and so we'll see.
You know, if it ain't broke, don't fix it.
Right.
You know, you got the sound, you got that raw feel, but it's still full. Like you said, you as a musician, you strive to make that wall of sound. You don't need a shitload of effects or anything like that to get better and to be better. And you know, you have no limits. Like I could tell, you got some massive talent, man. So that's pretty badass.
Where all do you guys kind of usually play? Do you have a couple places you said
You know, we played at 40 places in San Diego, but lately, for the past year and a half, I just really haven't been hustling gigs.
Yeah.
I've been playing at a couple places where they kind of have us as like a house band.
Cool.
So I'm on their calendar every month, regardless of what I do or don't do.
Well, who are they?
One of them is the Hennessy's in La Jolla,
cool.
which is a great big venue that has lots of space. The room is real warm. The sound is good. We play from 9 to 1, and we either play on Fridays or Saturday nights there. We've been playing down at this really cool chick hotel a boutique hotel right by the ballpark. It's got a great name like Handlery or whatever. And at the bottom, it's got the Nason's Pool Hall, which is just a really cool sports bar with a place to play. It's also a great room. And we've been playing there once a month for a while. It's called Nason's Pool Hall.
Nason's. How do you spell that?
NASON''S, and it's part of a really cool hotel. You know, looks really neat.
I've never heard of
Is it
that.
on
I
the
got to check
corner?
that out.
It's on the corner, and it's
It's
just
big,
about
right?
a
Is
block
it-
from the ballpark.
Okay. I think I just saw it recently.
And it's a cool place, and it also has a back room with a huge games and all. So then it's not a pool. I guess they have pool tables back there. Yeah, I'm too busy playing. I haven't gone back there to play.
No,
any games.
I don't blame
He's
you.
working. He's not out there playing pool.
What we would love to be able to do, and it takes too much. It takes some production and somebody to help to get the shows. Would be to play some outdoor venues, to play a couple blues fests.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
was going to ask you about that.
And to open up for some really good people would be just really exciting. But haven't done it yet. Maybe that'll happen for us sometime.
Have
Maybe.
You ever reached out to Boogie Magazine? They cover a lot of blues and jazz.
Yes, they do.
You know, I think that when they
events.
first started here in San Diego, which was just like 4 or 5 years ago,
Yeah.
I think the guy who owns it came to a show
Yeah,
of mine
Eli.
and took some pictures and stuff. He was really cool, but I haven't reached out to him recently.
He's been a little bit on the down low lately. I haven't seen him around.
But
actually,
they're definitely one of the
big supporters.
The biggest supporters for blues, and they're still around. Mark is doing a lot more for now.
Eli.
Yeah, so you can always hit them up, check them out, and the best thing I know is just to email the like if you see a blues fest that you want to be a part of, shoot them an email.
Yeah.
It's almost as simple as that, because a lot of them are smaller than you think in terms of who puts them on.
Yeah,
and
that's true.
they're very friendly. They want as much. A lot of them have a hard time finding bands that will play.
Surprising. But you know, like all of us, like it's still time.
Yeah.
It's still time. I think about it a lot,
Yeah.
but getting it done is another thing.
It is. It definitely is. So, all right. So you mentioned earlier the studio. Now it's called XYZ Studio in La Mesa.
Yeah.
And so, how did you get in touch or get involved with Sam Bucas there?
I think that Lyle worked on a couple of pieces of equipment of Sam, some
Makes
important amp type stuff, but for the studio. And so Sam knew Lyle because Lyle fixed up a bunch of stuff for him.
Awesome.
And Lyle kind of was scooping out a couple different options. And I'm really glad that we went with Sam just because we became really good friends and his studio was super duper comfortable and casual.
Nice.
And again, it was just like having a jam session, but recording it was really, really fun.
That's awesome. That's awesome. Well, let's listen to another track off of that 10-song album that you put out last year. Which one do you want to hear?
If you want, put on Sia Cortez. It's probably one of the craziest songs we have, and it's the last song that on the album before the bonus secret track.
And we'll talk about that after the song.
Okay.
So this is Sea of Cortez off of the album. What is the name of the album again?
It's called Itty Bitty King.
Itty Bitty King. So that's the name of the album by Tweed Deluxe, and we're going to listen to Sea of Cortez right now.
This is the longest song on the CD at around 7 minutes.
Well, that's good. We got time to kill then.
Sounds
good. It's a good song. I could sit here and listen to it.
Guess what? And you are.
Yeah, I know, right?
Kind of worked out really well, didn't it?
Yeah, it's nice.
To see what was going down. Woo! Bob Marley and the Whales were jamming to the sound of the sea. The air smelled of chorizo and coffee and a refried bean. And then she walked my way. And she asked me my name. Oh, she asked me my name. ¿Cómo te llamas, muchachito? Woo! She said her name was Nayeli from the Sea of Cortez.
Trouble's her name.
A little town called Wymus. Oh, that's where she was bred. Oh, her hair was so beautiful, and her skin was so fair. She had a voice that rocked my universe. Well, I was already there. Nayeli, girl, won't you take my hand? Nayeli, girl, I wanna be your man. I wanna be your man. Woo!
I like this part.
That's about as distorted as you get, huh?
Yeah, it's like a spaceship's going to take off.
Right?
That's some crazy wah. You just don't let anything hang. You just keep going at it. I'm like waiting for a chord to just hang for a moment. Like, nope.
Here you go.
There's the hang.
you go.
You still took it. You took it before the measure finished.
Well, my vacation, it ended. It was time to go home. I packed my bags and I headed to the lobby, but my Nayeli was gone. I walked up to the concierge and he handed me a note. It was from my Nayeli and this is exactly what she wrote. She wrote, I never wanna see you again.
Oh, shit.
Burn. Oh, man.
Never wanna see you again.
Oh, Nayeli.
Might as well get in that taxi and head to the airport, you loser.
Damn. Obviously, it wasn't a good date.
Oh, man.
Why'd you have to make me feel so sad? Me duele el corazón.
Spanish. I don't understand any of it.
Me duele.
My heart hurts a lot.
Oh, okay, thanks.
Thank you. We have interpreters in the room as well.
It helps.
Well, what a shitty way to end a vacation, huh?
Yeah, I know.
Oh, my God.
Hey, somebody had to say it. It was right there. That was a great song. I like your lyrics.
A little different, huh?
That's cool.
No, it's fun. It's fun,
Yeah.
and that's I like to see that in music, especially if you're a performing band. Like if you live play a lot, having those lyrics that people can kind of go, aha, I get that. It's
Keep
more
it
fun. Yeah,
Hey,
exactly, Jinx.
I was gonna say that.
It's like we
You want
know
me
each
to-
other. Or
I know
something. What? All right. So before we played that song, first of all, that was pretty awesome. I like
thank you.
the more bluesy sound of that track. Definitely. You mentioned right before we hit play about a secret song on the album, which is awesome because most bands don't do that anymore. That's kind of a throwback. We talked about that on a few episodes in the past. But the cool thing that I found out about that is that's the only song you didn't write.
That's correct.
So tell me about that first, the writing thing.
Well, the CD is all original music, but there's something that I used to just like after maybe the second set. We don't do a whole lot of partying when we play, but maybe I was 2 good red wines into the night and super hot, just excited. And I would get up there with them still out mingling, and I would just plug in and I would play it, screw around in something that progresses into what the bonus track is, just to do it. And then everybody seemed to like it so much that I do it. I try to remember to do it every time we play, either around midnight or 1. And so Lyle's like, we need to put that on the album and do it as a bonus track. We did it, and it was 45 seconds later. So somebody that has it in there and they think the CD's over, they don't even wait the 45 seconds. So we did do a whole new reissue of purchases, and we did it just 8 seconds later or something, so people
Okay.
actually get to the bonus track.
Still in there, yeah.
You know what, though? Honestly, that's just because of the CDs not being around anymore. Because I remember when I had a CD in my CD player and the last song stopped, or finished, like it ended, but the counter was still going. I'm just sitting there. I'm staring at it. I'm like, what am I going to get next?
Yeah, totally.
That is so true, because if it didn't just stop itself, like the
If it didn't-
button,
yeah.
it would just pop and it would be done. And when it was done,
Yeah, no, it just kept spinning. And
In
then
the old
it's just
days, you'd be driving around, and then you think, oh, you don't think just to hit it and start over, put the CD out, and all of a sudden, oh, something else is on there.
Yeah, that's how I found about a lot of different songs back then. So that's cool that you
Super
have
cool.
that like secret bonus track that's no longer really secret, but
Well, it is if
Listen,
you
wait
haven't.
for it.
Yeah, it is if you haven't heard the CD or come out and listen to us play. But again, it's a song that everybody's heard before.
Okay.
I would love it if you played it.
yeah. Well, do you have it? Did you sing it? Brandon, to
Oh,
me?
I didn't send it to
You
you.
only gave me 3 songs. That's because that's all I
I was
asked for.
Oh, bummer. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're not going to listen to it today then.
No, because
Ah, well, you
I
have
have a brand new iMac or a brand new MacBook, and it doesn't even have a CD slot.
Well, I
in
brought you a gift. You can listen to it later.
it. Sweet. Kim's like, yeah, that's mine.
yeah, I know, right? I know. You're done. I got to go switch out my CDs in my car.
Yep. Next one. Next set of CDs. Okay, so me too.
I had something really good too.
I did too. I swear, I had the best question ever that
I could
would have
tell
asked.
it was going to be good.
Yeah.
Did you see the light bulb when
I could
off
tell it was
above
going to be
his
good.
head?
What was it?
Did you see it extinguished too? It just like
There
blew
was a
up.
pop above your head.
That happens way too damn often. So I think I've already mentioned Reverbnation. Yeah, I've
Yeah.
already mentioned that.
Mention Reverb. Tweed Deluxe is here in the house. Got one cool. What is the inspiration?
This is called
for that?
vamping.
What was the inspiration for that song? Because you mentioned you were a married gentleman, and that song's kind of about
Yeah, but I can't get into my interpersonal relationships.
Oh, okay.
I've been married for 8 years to a gal that she was I was her first boyfriend, and we dated when we were kids. We went to we grew up in the same town. We grew up in the
back.
beaches of La Jolla, and
Awesome.
I ended up going off to college on a track scholarship, and I ended up marrying someone else. She ended up marrying someone else, and both of us, had been divorced for a while, and we just hooked up by sheer happenstance. I would have run across the street if I'd seen her, but somehow we met, and careful what you wish for. It was like
Yep.
just animal attraction. But
That's
while
so
I
sweet.
was while I was out there soloing it, I did all kinds of crazy
Okay.
stuff, and I went on a trip to Cabo that was like a club trip with my work, and we all went down there, just a bunch of guys, and we were partying like crazy.
And that was the inspiration
It
for
was
the
the
song.
inspiration, yeah. And some chick that I met up at that one restaurant on the beach. I don't know what it's called.
Papas and beer.
Yeah, something like that.
One,
And-
you know?
yeah,
It's like
Danger,
everybody has a
danger.
fucking bumper sticker on their car with Papas
so it's kind
and
of
beer.
a true story, but it's just a song.
Yeah.
It's funny. It's a fun song.
It's supposed to be like a little bit of an adventure for you to take.
Yeah.
Guy gets on the plane, he goes down
Yeah.
there, he thinks he's going to try to have some fun, but then he realizes when he gets there, there's beautiful people everywhere, and everybody's having fun, and he's all alone. Next day he
Kinda
falls
hits
in
him.
love with somebody, first sight. She toys with him and kind of pulls him along a little. Probably throws $300 or $400 on him
Yeah,
in 3
spends his
days, and
money.
then
Yeah.
when it's time for him to go back, he thinks he's got someone that cares about him, loves him, and she says, "Later, dude, you're gone. I'm here. See
Right.
ya."
I never want to
He's
see
out.
you again.
I mean, it's probably never happened to anybody else but me. That
Yeah.
type of a story.
Oh no, it happens quite often. Trust me.
Yeah,
I was
imagine.
in the wow.
Wow.
Yeah,
So it's called "See Ya Cortez" anyway.
yeah.
It's a fun song.
It is a
Check it
fun
out.
song.
Can you get it on iTunes or Spotify?
Yeah.
So where else can people find you? Because I had a hard time finding you outside of Reverbnation.
Well, we're on iTunes. We have a website that Lyle, he does everything. He does everything.
Okay.
It's called tweeddeluxeband.com.
Okay.
Oh, band.
And you can go right there, and we're connected in with CD Baby, and you can click to go right to CD Baby to listen to the music and purchase if you want. We are on iTunes. We're supposed to be on a bunch of other digital formats, but I don't pay attention to which one, Spotify
Right.
and a whole bunch of others.
A lot of the times,
SoundCloud,
if
maybe.
Lyle hands all that stuff for you, then CD Baby puts all that stuff out. That's what's awesome. They're a complete independent distribution network, and they help produce your tracks. And they're very hands off, so it's cheap and it's easy to do. So if you know someone
Yeah,
who knows
run
what they're
through 'em.
doing, it's just they can plug it in there and it goes everywhere.
Yeah, that's cool. One thing that Lyle did, which I think is fun, and I'm sure lots of bands do it, but I think it's a lot of fun for us, even though it's not bringing us any monetary value, is that we are in a service where we are on internet radio at all these different places around the world, and it keeps growing. We're up to like 38 different stations that are playing our music, and they continue to play it. They're college campuses, they're places in Western Europe, they're Australia, all around the United States. Even some of my songs of which you're going to play, Kingsville, could fit more even to like a country blues. So we're down in Nashville on a radio station, and we get to see diagnostics of what are they playing and what are trending the best songs. And so it's just fun. Lyle gives me a report once a month on a piece of paper. Hey, check it out, Mike. Here's the newest one, and look, this one's still at number 1, and this is number 2, and this is number 3. And
that just sounds exactly like the conversations at radio stations. Like when they talk numbers, that's exactly how they talk about it at radio. It's crazy.
It's fun to know that somebody far away, they're sitting around in some club or something, and they're listening to a song by somebody in San Diego, California, and they're digging it.
Yeah,
that's the beauty.
Yeah.
I love the internet for that.
Yeah, and that's really good information when you're on a tour and stuff. You kind of know where you can go and get heads in.
That's true. But that's very true. It's like it helps you figure out where you're interested in. And a lot of bands nowadays are doing more foreign overseas tours than they are doing local tours, because you can just fly out there, send your gear out there, and find everything for cheap, and people who will shuttle you around like you're gods.
They're so welcoming. They love the American musicians and blues and rock and all that good stuff.
So where does the blues influence come from you?
Well, I grew up in a house where we had a lot of, just everything that was music was playing in the house. Whatever it was, Hendrix and Stones and Zepp, and even, my brother was into some other stuff that I thought was weird at the time, Prince and all of
the heavy progressive.
And all of John Lennon and all these other ones. But I just love the blues. My brothers had kind of a blues rock band, and all of my favorite guitar players, every one of them, and there's dozens of them, they all have a feeling, as far as the blues, it's a core piece, whether it's Jeff Beck, whether it's obviously some phenom like a Stevie Ray Vaughan, whether it's even a Carlos Santana. You ask Carlos to play, a blues type of a number, and he's just going to shred it. Now, typically he's more melodic, and he's doing this, and they're all like that. I mean, I just love Hendrix. It's just, if I had to be on the desert island and I had to pick the 3 albums, really hard to do, I'd probably bring Electric Ladyland with me, because it's so weird that I could listen to the songs over and over again, and a lot of that stuff's just simple blues, the way he does it, I love all that stuff.
Nice. And so when did you first pick up your guitar?
I started playing guitar when I was 19. I was a freshman in college, and really I just, screwed around teaching myself, and really started to get into it. And then when I was, junior, senior in college, I'd been playing a lot because I could just play in my room all the time. I had a lot of more spare time than in real life. And, and then I thought, man, first I thought I wanted to be a gold medal winner in the mile in the Olympics, but, as competitive as it was running in college, I started turning towards, wow, I would love to just be a musician, which is a stupid thing to want. But so I ended up moving to Spain for a year and a half.
It's more rewarding than running constantly and hurting your joints.
Yeah, I don't know. The running's pretty good too.
I loved running. I thought I was going to be an Olympian
myself. A lot
myself
of good endorphins in that running.
You see how big I am? If I go running, things fall apart. That's just...
Well, I was a pretty good runner, but I didn't play any contact sports. So, but I loved playing, and I played for about 4 or 5 years a lot, but then I got married, had kids, was working a lot, and it was just there in my room, and I played around, and every once in a while I'd go jam with somebody else. Meeting Lyle, he took me back up, and I'm a far better player today at my old age than I ever was, when I was younger.
And you've got your wife to tell you that 6 years after the band formed.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, oh my God, you're really good.
Yeah.
It's like, that's kind of a condescending thing.
Yeah, but it's cool.
Backhanded compliment.
It's cool. There's not a whole lot of things as we get older and we're, our bodies are atrophying, and there's not a whole lot of things that you do get better at. Intellectually you can read more, you can study, you can be a scholarly till the age of 200, but there's a lot of things that you kind of don't necessarily get better and better at. You might just kind of taper or change or evolve, And it's just the way life is because you're so busy and there's only so many things that you can spend your time on. The music for me is the last 3 or 4 or 5 years with Robert and Lyle. They allow me just to do what I want to do, and I've just improved a lot because of that.
Yeah, that's
Artistic
awesome.
freedom.
Yeah, and even though we only play, a couple times a month, I find time to practice in my room and make sure I at least exercise a little bit. And so once we have the shows, it takes me 2 or 3 or 4 songs of the first set, and everything gets all warm, including the amp.
Yeah.
Oh,
It's
nice.
about right.
Two bands.
That's about right.
Exactly. So
Nice.
it's a lot of fun.
Well, let's go. Go ahead.
I just you
That's
mentioned
fun.
Spain.
Oh.
Well, I had lived in Spain for 1.5 years and just was working over there, and I played a lot when I was there, and I got to play with these young Spaniards that had a rock band, and they were totally into what was going on in America at the time. They knew way more than I did, and they had all of these bands that they loved, and they had a great little band that they let me come. They brought me into their family. And they had songs, bands like Jason and the Scorchers and all these hard driving blues rock type groups that I didn't even know who the heck these people were, so that was really, really fun. Then it kind of tapered off as far as the activity when I came back to the States and all, but it's all good. The life is a mission, and music is just such an important thing to have in your life. Even if you're just hearing it in the background or, geez, when I'm driving around and I've just burned out, I'll just put on the classical music and, it'll even just groove me. But music is a great thing. And to be able to perform it, holy guacamole.
And to add one better, be able to perform it and people want to come see you.
Well, that's nice.
That's the even better part.
That's
so
a lot.
That's a bonus.
yeah, let me know when you get that, because I don't know what that feels like.
Yeah, right.
All right, let's go ahead and listen to your final track you gave me. Now, this is off the same album.
Yeah. It's my least favorite song on the album, but a lot of people really like it, and it's a great 1-4-5 blues song that you get everybody to dance to.
Awesome.
I love all the songs, but at any rate, it's fun. Play it. I was born in Kingsville, Texas, only because my dad was in flight school. He was a Naval Academy Marine Corps guy that, he grew up in Yuma, Arizona, but somehow he got into the Naval Academy. And even though my mom and my dad are from San Diego and I lived my entire life here, I was born in Kingsville, so I wrote a silly song about Kingsville, Texas.
Cool.
I was there for like 3 weeks at the hospital. Okay? So carry on. Everything's got a story to it with me.
Well, let's listen to this song, Kingsville, by Tweed Deluxe off of their album. Okay.
Teeny Tiny Kings.
I'm going back to Texas. I'm going back where I belong. I'm going back to Texas, darling. I'm going back where I belong. Back to that Lone Star State. It's the home of the Alamo. Well, there's a little town called Kingsville, way down by the Gulf of Mexico. Yeah, well, there's a little town called Kingsville, way down by the Gulf of Mexico. I'm going back down to that sleepy town. It's the only home I know.
For 3 weeks, anyway.
Yeah, exactly.
I was born on the Big King Ranch.
I was born on the Big King Ranch, the largest ranch in the United States. That happened to be where the hospital was at that time.
Really?
Wow.
Just some silly trivia.
Fun facts. I love
Yeah.
it.
That's a trim on Ford trucks. Is it Ford?
Yeah, they have the one that they call King,
King Ranch.
Yeah, it's
That's-
named
that's-
after that ranch. Yeah.
Yep.
Back down to Texas, darling. Baby, don't you wanna go?
fog machine behind you that you can switch on when that starts happening, so it looks like smoke coming out?
That would be cool.
Yeah.
I went out to California, tried to find my way around.
That's hard to do.
Yeah, totally. It's a big place.
Especially in LA.
I went out to California, tried to find my way around. But it's been a lonely, lonely road. Not a good friend have I found. I went up to Hollywood, trying to find my fortune and fame.
You know what that's about, right?
Yeah.
I went up to Hollywood.
Can see how well it worked out. You're on the Dusty Futon.
Hey, it's quite comfy.
Isn't it?
But I'm packing my bags and I'm heading south. Not a fool here knows my name. That's why I'm going back to Texas. I'm going back where I belong. Yeah, I'm going back to Texas. I'm going back where I belong. Back to that Lone Star State. Baby, don't you wanna go?
Awesome.
Woo. Your least favorite track, eh?
Yeah, my least favorite track, but at least you danced a little
There
bit,
you
so I
go.
feel a little better.
No, that's a pretty fun song. It's like, why is that your least favorite track?
I'm not supposed to say anything negative. You already told me earlier I'm
I
not
think
supposed
I
to say
know.
anything negative.
Well, no, I mean, don't say anything that limits yourself. Like telling yourself that, oh, I'm limited. That's what you,
you know,
don't
there's
say.
some
Yeah.
songs that I just love to sing, and in that one, I just never found out exactly where I'm supposed to be on it.
Oh,
So,
it's-
you know,
it's
if I
funny
had
that
somebody
you
else
say-
come in and sing it, I could have somebody else sing it, a credible gal or a guy sing it, and I just never have liked the way I laid that thing down. But people really like it when we play it
Yeah.
live because it's all hopping, you know, 1-4-5 kind of a
Yeah.
country
Yeah.
rock. Yeah.
It's very fun. Very fun. All right, man. Well, you got anything you want to?
I know. Hey, can you get your CDs at your shows? Do you guys sell
Yeah,
them?
we
Oh.
do.
All
right.
Yeah.
Cool.
Where else do you sell? Do you sell physical copies anywhere, location wise?
No, we just bring them to the shows,
bring
and
'em
of course you can can
Online.
get them off of CD Baby. They can
Right.
actually ship hard copy, or you can just get the digital.
Right on.
Perfect.
Cool.
Well, thanks, Michael, again for coming out for
Thank
Tweed
you.
Deluxe to have a seat on the Dusty Futon.
Yeah, it was
I had a
fun.
wonderful time, guys. Thank you so
Yeah.
much.
You're welcome, man. It was a blast. Thanks again.
You bet.
And shout out to
you.
Reverbnation for hooking us up.
Thanks,
Yeah.
Reverbnation. You guys are awesome.
Aren't they awesome? Hell yeah, man.
And go catch a show. Tweed Deluxe.
Oh, yeah. TweedDeluxeBand.com. And everything's on there, right?
You got it.
All right.
Rock
Later.
on. Thanks.
Rock on.
Thank you so much to Michael Olieta of Tweed Deluxe for coming out to take a seat on the Dusty Futon, and huge thanks to Reverbnation for connecting us with this talented local band. Big thank you to Spicy Kim of Wicked Tone Entertainment for being the executive producer and co-host for this episode. I'm Big John, your host, engineer, editor, and producer of this production of the Dusty Futon LLC. Thank you for tuning in, and don't forget to subscribe to get all the newest episodes. You can find out how and share with your friends at www.dustyfuton.com. If you love what we are doing and want to support our cause like Rick and our other supporters, please consider going to patreon.com/thedustyfuton and pledging to support us for as little as $1 a month. Thank you again for tuning in to this episode of The Dusty Futon.